bombing at the Gaza hospital was Shaban. One of the people the world saw burned alive by the bombing at the Gaza hospital was Shaban al-Dalu, a 19-year-old engineering student who was still attached to an IV drip recovering from a previous bombing. And his story kind of speaks to how this isn't just about one attack. A 19-year-old having to provide for his family, repeatedly displaced, brought to hunger, bombed twice in a matter of days. This is a year and this isn't out of nowhere. So how many more patients burned alive by U.S. bombs?
We don't want to see any. No, we don't want to see any.
Well, I guess the U.S. has said, again and again, that no civilian loss is acceptable. 10,000 deaths ago, 20,000 deaths ago, and yet it's continued. So how does this answer mean anything without a policy shift?
It is an incredibly difficult environment that Israel operates in. And I'll just make clear, the thing that question leaves out, as often happens, and I understand why, is the burden that Hamas bears. And not just the burden that Hamas bears by hiding behind humans and using humans as civilian shields, but the burden that Hamas bears in not coming back to the table to try to get to a ceasefire. So,
what kind of answer is that to say the burden relies with Hamas? The burden relies with Hamas for not coming to the table, for hiding behind. How can you hide behind people in a hospital? You've taken out most of the hospitals. The IDF have done it. They've been bragging about killing babies. They've been bragging about murdering. What a load of rubbish. They've been disgracing women's clothes that they've found, etc. And it's been caught on their social medias. The rules of engagement have been broken. And the IDF and Israel have no disregard for any form of humanitarian law. But the vast majority of people that we can see now are not happy. The vast majority of people in the UK are not happy. But when pain comes, because pain will come, if you don't speak about atrocities and abuses, it will come back to you. Because you have witnessed something and yet you did not do anything. You were part of the workers of lawlessness. Anybody that sees injustice and that decides not to do anything is a witnesser of injustice, and a person who cannot stand and put themselves forward to stop the injustice is part of that injustice. They become part of it because you become complicit with it. And the Americans, I'm sorry, are complicit in allowing and fueling the war, and so are the British complicit in allowing and fueling the war. So, what a load of rubbish. There is no reason for someone to be burnt alive whilst on IV drips at a hospital. There is no reason to attack hospitals. It's shocking to see that how people can justify their actions. Why can't you condemn the atrocities? Why not? Why don't you do it? Why do people hide behind, oh, well, Hamas are doing this, or the UN aren't doing anything about it? Why can't you just condemn what's going on by the people who are doing it instead, and hold them to account? It's like somebody committing a crime and you don't want to blame the person that's committing the crime, you want to blame it on their circumstance. Well, that person's an individual that's committed the crime. So they must forfeit and be held accountable. The country must be held accountable. You can't just blame it on Hamas, and you can't blame it on self-defense, because Israel are not being attacked at this present moment. So it's not the use of proportionate force. It is not self-defense, because self-defense is the use of proportionate force. So, minimum, reasonable, justifiable, it is not there. Those three things are not there. You do not have minimum force. We do not have reasonable force. We do not have justifiable force. It is just not there. The use of force to murder, I'll say the word murder because it's the word murder that we're looking at. The use of force to murder innocent people and the explanation and justification given for it will not stand. There is no argument for there's no foundation for that argument. There's no justifiable argument. It's about time America started to condemn evil doing acts. It's about time, because the people of America are condemning. It's about time people woke up and started to condemn what is going on. It's about time reporters and media started to condemn. Why don't you wake up? Vikas Chopra, over and out.